I don't experience beat block anymore, so this is what I do to keep generating ideas and staying in the flow. Number 1, I use long processing chains and change the input sound. So let's say you have a sound, then you apply some effects onto it, you add some automation, and then you replace the initial sound. I like to shift through synth presets I made and see what I can get. Once I stumble upon something that sounds nice, I keep it and duplicate the track to repeat the whole process until I get enough sounds to start connecting them into patterns. You can also simply export these sounds into your library to then use them in a track. They're easy to access and will help you get the ideas out of your head quicker while producing, as you don't have to spend time sound designing. Number 2, I use weird effects and resample. Weird effects will produce some really unexpected results. I'm talking effects like Portal or Infiltrator. They don't necessarily have to produce atonal sounds, they simply need to be chaotic and unexpected. Simply shift through presets, and once you've found something that potentially can sound good, resample it, and then find the pieces of the recording that can be used in a song. These can either be used as main sounds, ear candies, layers, or fills. Number 3, I use reference tracks. There's nothing wrong with using reference tracks and borrowing ideas if you're getting inspired by them, but not straight up copying them. Some things like drum patterns, bass, chord and melody rhythms, sound selection, arrangement, placement of the sounds within a section, effects, are pretty universal and no one really owns these things, so you can freely try and replicate them, but at the same time keeping in mind to not straight up copy anyone. It's best to align their song with your own song's tempo. You can do this by finding the first drum sound, cutting right when it starts, and then aligning it with the grid. You can warp and tweak the tempo or stretch the song manually until drums align with the grid. In Ableton, you can use the repitch mode to keep the quality while changing the tempo of the song. Now compare sections, see what your track is missing in comparison to their track, look at some elements that pop up and try to replicate them with your own twist, see drum patterns, transitions, look for ear candies, see what you can learn from someone else's track. Number 4, I experiment. I know this is a very basic advice, but let me give you my perspective on how you can do this. There's many different things you can try aiming at while experimenting. Those are a certain emotion, a certain rhythm, character of the sound, for example watery, glossy, rich, colorful, you name it. Basically while experimenting you're trying to answer questions. What if I do this? What if I combine these two sounds? What if I apply these effects and these automations? What if I align these sounds into this rhythm? And so on. The main thing that experimenting requires is patience. You never know what you will get, and when you will get something is uncertain. But even if you don't end up with anything satisfying within the first few sessions, you will at least know what not to do, and your understanding of how sound and music work will grow. So you're not wasting your time even though you may be not getting any good results. Number 5. I learn. This is how generating ideas works. It's not you or your mind that generates the idea, it's the knowledge that your mind suggests to you. Try and come up with the melody idea in your head right now. Can you do this? Is this 100% unique, generated from nothing? Or is every note based on something you already know, or based on a pure experimentation, aka jamming? You can't generate ideas, you stumble upon them while trying things out and by learning them. If you wanted to reinvent music theory, you would need to experiment to discover it. You can't simply come up with it in your head. That's the basis of every creative process. You never know what you will get, and if you know, you already know, and there's no pure uniqueness to it. Music is highly based on learning, experimenting, looking and finding happy accidents, and then memorizing them. So the more techniques you know, the more ideas your mind will suggest to you. There's plenty of free content on YouTube right now, so keep discovering new things and memorize them. Once you have a huge arsenal of techniques, not only will you always know what to do, but you will also never experience beat block again, and producing music will simply be a satisfying flow of ideas. And that flow can be disrupted by high expectations. So, number 6, I drop expectations. Sometimes what's holding me back are high expectations. I just want to make this idea a good song, but that leads to perfectionism, and it makes me choose sounds more carefully, design them with more precision, focus more on tiny details, and make sure that everything is working great. It all sounds like something that would make up a good song, right? But what that does, it disrupts the flow of ideas and makes you question every single move. Is this good enough? Should I pay more attention to this? Is this sound a final sound? Should I change it? Should I make it better? That doesn't help much when it comes to songwriting. This may be good as finishing step to go through all the sounds and make sure they are in their best possible form, but when it comes to straight up production, it's sometimes really beneficial to drop all the expectations and create whatever comes to mind, whether it's good or bad. What I've been doing recently is I've been making an idea per day challenge and posting the result on my Instagram story. Main reason was to show people that I also make crappy ideas and to not be seen as someone who only makes perfect or good songs, and also to stop being so attached to what people think of my music, to free my mind and allow it to comfortably produce anything it wants. Also, if you focus on quantity with a reasonable quality level in mind, this will free you up from being so attached to your existing projects and will increase your chances of creating a song, as music production is very random when it comes to results. Bonus tip 1. Keep in mind the concept of the flow state. What this is to me is a pure connection between your mind and your DAW. There's no limiting thoughts, beliefs, or expectations, but a pure flow of ideas from your head into your DAW. Imagine a clean electricity flow coming from your brain through your arms to the keyboard and the mouse. There's nothing in between, you are in the zone, no distractions, you are in the music, in the sound, hyper focused on what you're making. I think the way you can start a flow state is to take a deep breath, let go of everything else, and do what your mind suggests. Be a servant for your mind. The mind is supposed to serve you, but in order to do so, you need to serve it first. So listen to your mind, to what it suggests, and just do. Bonus tip number 2. When producing, get up from your chair and go outside the room or simply further away from the computer while playing the song. This will put things in perspective and you will no longer be a producer but a listener. You will hopefully be able to hear some new melodies or ideas, little things that you can add to your song, then go back and add those. Try different places, sometimes it's better to barely hear the song so that your mind can fill those missing parts with new ideas. Bonus tip number 3. It's gonna be a similar one to the previous one. Change the environment. Sometimes changing your surroundings or the program that you work with will trigger some new ideas to pop up. I don't really know how that works and why it works, but it does. So you can change your DAW, you can change the place that you work in physically, and that will hopefully trigger some new ideas. You will see things from a different perspective, from not a usual perspective, and you will make something new and unexpected. I really honestly think that these are some solid tips for this. I don't experience beat block anymore. I don't have any creative blocks anymore. before I just sit down to the DAW, I just start a song and ideas just flow into my head and I just listen to my mind, to what it's saying. It usually suggests like, oh, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. It's not literally saying me to what to do, but it's like saying like, maybe I should use this sound. Like it's not like a voice in my head, it's just like more like a feeling that I feel like I should use this sound. I feel like this could fit here. And you know, the reason I know this is because I already used this sound. I know that it works here. So it's a pure knowledge. Or like maybe use this effect, maybe use that plugin. And the reason this idea pops is because I'm kind of like aiming at, you know, making a good sound. So my mind gives me a suggestion based on what I'm aiming at. So if I want to have a sound that is a, you know, maybe like bright and clean, so my mind is gonna be like, use OTT, man, because that works. And I know what sound it's gonna have because I already used this effect so many times and I know what it's gonna sound like and I know that this will work. And it's purely based on knowledge, purely based on experience. So like the more you learn, the more you gather information, the more your mind will suggest things. And at some point you will have no problem. You will have so many ideas for so many situations that you will never have beat block. You will always know what to do, as I do have right now. You know, sometimes I just don't know how to make a certain sound. If I want to make something unique, I may have like a little idea. So what people are struggling with the most is that they go to a certain point in their track and they don't know what to put there. That's a very common thing, and it's just you don't know because you have not discovered it yet. But you don't have to know in order to make something cool. You can experiment. So if I'm starting a track and if I have an intro, verse, and the build up and I want to make a unique drop, there's no way that my mind will suggest to me a unique drop idea that have never been discovered. If it's based on knowledge, as it is, there's no way that my mind suggests something that I have not memorized yet. So you gotta learn, you gotta experiment, you gotta try new things, gather as many information as possible, and you will always know what to do. So if I don't know what to do, well, I just gave you tips. But like in that scenario, when I have an empty drop, it's either that I knew what I can make there, you know, whatever chord stacks with the lead, with the epic huge drums and a vocal lead also with some fills, melodic fills. You know, I'm saying that because I already know how it's gonna work. But I can also like try and discover something new, and that's what's cool about music, is that you can experiment and you can get these unexpected results, and some of them can be so good. It's just like, oh my god, that is so amazing. This idea that you come up with while experimenting, it's like an accident. You're just trying stuff out and it just happens. The idea is not yours. Sure, you made it, but like it just happened. It's an accident. So that is it. I hope you did enjoy. Again, let me know in the comments if you have any other tips, because I might have missed something. Maybe there's some new techniques or other techniques that I don't know about. So let me know, and check out resample.us for sounds and presets. Full Inspired Sample Bug is out now. You can check that out. Have a great day and see you soon.